Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today we're going to be taking a look at all the latest NFL mock drafts and who some of the top NFL draft analysts in the draft space are projecting to the Pittsburgh Steelers in round one of the 2025 NFL Draft. Before we get things going today, I actually do a lot of content for our NFL Draft channel here at Chat Sports. It's called NFL Draft by Chat Sports. So if you guys want to click that subscribe button, not only to this channel, but also go check out that channel for additional NFL Draft related content, mock drafts every single week, positional rankings, all that great stuff. If you're a draft nerd like myself and you love the draft content we have here on Steelers Talk and you want kind of a more general sense of the NFL Draft, you guys can go check out that channel and click that subscribe button. I'm also posting a bunch of draft content on my X account at Jack_Sperry, along with my daily Steelers content. So make sure you go check that out if you haven't already. And with that, let's get into the content here, where there seems to be a new favorite for the Steelers to pick at number 21. Among, kind of the national media kind of conglomerate here, there seems to be a thread that is starting to kind of be linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, Field Yates from ESPN, Bucky Brooks from NFL Network, and then Bruce Feldman from The Athletic all have the Steelers taking this player with their first pick at number 21 overall in round one. And that player is quarterback Jaxson Dart. And, this has become a more and more popular pick throughout the draft process here, and it's worrying me a little bit here. We'll talk about why in just a second, but this is what Field Yates had to say about why he's mocking Jaxson Dart to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, it seems the Steelers are the most likely landing spot for Aaron Rodgers. Signing him would not preclude them from looking toward the future at quarterback. Rodgers is 41 years old, and each coming season is a true year-to-year proposition. But Pittsburgh hasn't even signed Rodgers yet, meaning Mason Rudolph is the current QB1. Let's lock up another signal caller for the Steelers here. He has good mobility and accuracy, throwing 52 touchdowns and 11 interceptions over the past 2 seasons. Now, for me personally, guys, I think Jaxson Dart at number 21, especially without a trade down, is a reach. And I think that it would definitely call back to not trading back and taking Kenny Pickett in the first round all those years back. Somebody that, in my opinion, is not a true first-round quarterback. He's a little bit of a projection. And then even if he does turn into an NFL starter, I think he's going to be a mid-level starter. I don't see a lot of star or superstar potential with Jaxson Dart, even though there are things that I like. I like his accuracy to all levels of the field. I like his touch passing over the middle and down the sideline. I like how efficient he was with throwing the ball down the field last year. He's a plus rusher. He's got that NFL arm, and he's got some great competitive toughness, all right? And I think Tomlin would really appreciate that. But the cons, he doesn't have great pocket presence, which I think really affects his upside. He also has mental processing question marks because he played in a very college-esque offense that gave him a wide-open read on his first read more often than not. Lots of RPOs, lots of screens as well. And I think that there's a lack of overall star upside. And I don't think he's a particularly clutch performer either. He played some of his worst football when the game was on the line there at Ole Miss. So for me, I have a round 2 grade on him. I think that a value for him would be with your third-round pick, but with all the smoke surrounding him, I really think that he's going to end up going late round 1 or sometime during round 2. My pro comp for him is that he's diet Jalen Hurts. He's not as fast. He's not as accurate as Jalen Hurts is, but he's got a lot of the similar qualities. They're both accurate. They both got great touch on their deep ball, all this different stuff. And, they're both plus rushers. They both don't have great pocket presence, all this different stuff. And I can certainly see why, the Steelers, a team that's trying to build their team in a similar light to the Philadelphia Eagles, would want a guy that kind of comps to Jalen Hurts, and he kind of fits the mold for what they're looking for. Somebody that can throw a good deep ball, somebody with a good NFL arm that can cut through the elements of the AFC North, somebody that can run when you ask him to. He's got that mobility to pick up a first down from time to time. I really don't know if the lack of superstar upside is going to scare them all that much, because they don't necessarily need, in their mind, a superstar quarterback. They want that superstar running back, and that's what they want the main engine of the offense to be, not necessarily the passing game. And my take on Jaxson Dart here, guys, and just taking a quarterback in general here, is that especially if they get Aaron Rodgers, I don't think they take a quarterback in round 1. I think they'll find somebody in the middle rounds to take, whether that be Will Howard, Jalen Milroe, somebody along those lines. But if they do miss out on Aaron Rodgers and he retires or he goes to the Vikings or whatever he decides to do with his life in 2025, if that's the case, then the Steelers, I think that this becomes a real possibility for them because they get put in a place of desperation. And I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope Rodgers is here, so it gives the Steelers every option at their disposal, and I hope that they don't get put in that place of desperation at the quarterback position this year. So let me know down there in the comment section, what grade would you give a Jaxson Dart pick in round 1? Multiple national NFL draft media people are having the Steelers take Jaxson Dart at 21 without a trade down. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or an F. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Fanatics. And while I'm talking about Fanatics today, give me a grade for Jaxson Dart in round 1. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Fanatics, where you guys can get the officially licensed 2025 NFL Draft hat for your Pittsburgh Steelers. All you have to do is use our link, chatsports.com/pit25. That's down in the comments and description of today's show. They got 2 different colorways this year. This is the off-white coloring there with the black bill and the gold leafing. I got one of these for myself personally, and I also really like the regular design this year. This is the one you're going to see all the draft picks for the Steelers this year wear on draft day with the black and then the gold bill with the gold lettering. Really clean, really simple, nothing too crazy, which is something that I appreciate. Like I said, I already got myself one of these guys. I think you might want to as well. So go to chatsports.com/pit25. Use that link and make a purchase. It helps out the channel. So if you want to help out the channel today and get yourself a new draft hat, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, go to chatsports.com/pit25 and get your new hat today. So now Lance Zierlein from NFL Network actually projects the Pittsburgh Steelers to take defensive tackle in round 1 in his latest mock, Derrick Harmon out of Oregon, which is one of the more popular draft targets among Steelers fans out there. And the best part about Zierlein's mock here is that the Steelers actually trade down and still get him at number 26 overall after trading down with the Los Angeles Rams. This is the projected trade where the Pittsburgh Steelers will get an additional 3rd-round pick for moving down a couple of spots here with the Los Angeles Rams. This is what Zierlein had to say about this pick. Earlier in the pre-draft process, an NFC executive told me that Harmon, quote-unquote, plays like a Raven or a Steeler, unquote. Well, here we are, and the Steelers still need defensive line after moving back in this mock. And listen, man, I think if you trade down and you still get Derrick Harmon, I think that would be a phenomenal result for the Pittsburgh Steelers on night 1. Because not only do you get somebody that's going to be able to make a super easy transition whenever Cam Hayward decides to hang up his cleats, but also you get a great player that can contribute day 1, and you get another day 2 pick to go out and get another potential impact player. So the things that I love about Harmon, guys, he's got great get-off, which allows him to really be disruptive off the snap, which you just don't see very often, all right? He's got great quickness and athleticism, and then he pairs that with really good power as well. So even if he doesn't beat you with quickness off the snap, he can bull rush you as well. So he's got a myriad of different ways to beat you as an interior pass rusher. He's got some hand fighting moves as well. Maybe not elite as a hand fighter, but he certainly can win with his hands, and he's good at run defense as well. Again, not elite run defender, but he is a very good one. And I think the one con that I consistently see on his film is that tackling inconsistency is certainly part of his game, where he can get in the backfield, but then he'll miss the running back, like that sort of stuff. But plain and simply, guys, the name of the game when it comes to interior pass rush is disruption. And Derrick Harmon, certainly somebody that's going to be able to do that, I think, from day 1 in the National Football League. And he would make the transition from Cam Hayward to a new player of the future along the interior of the D-line seamless. All right, Harmon said himself, I believe it was at the Senior Bowl, that he compares his game to Cam Hayward, or maybe it was the Combine. But Harmon reminds a lot of people of Cam Hayward because they do play the game in a very similar fashion. And I think that if Harmon had the opportunity to learn from Cam Hayward for 2 years before eventually taking over that starting spot alongside Keanu Benton in the Steelers' 4-man four-man fronts. I think that would be something that would be a really good plan for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I would be thrilled if Harmon was the Steelers pick at 26 after trading down. So make sure you guys like this video if you haven't already for more Steelers draft videos like this one. If you want more extensive, in-depth prospect analysis, mock drafts, all the different stuff we do on this channel, clicking that thumbs up icon lets us know that this is the content that you enjoy watching, and we'll get more of these videos out to you. So now lastly, let's break down ESPN Matt Miller's 7-round mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because he makes some interesting picks here. We'll start with the first-round pick here with Azariah Thomas, cornerback out of Florida State. I'll break that down here in just a second. Then he goes Jalen Milroe, quarterback in round 3. Cam Scatabo falls all the way to round 4, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Holland Price, an offensive tackle out of Rutgers, going round 5. Jordan Watkins, a receiver out of Ole Miss, in round 6. And then Donovan Edwards, the Don, heading to Pittsburgh in round 7. Now, for me, guys, go ahead and get your grade down there in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F. For me, I got to give it a B-, all right? And I think the reason for that is I don't love the first-round pick in Azariah Thomas. Thomas has really good film. I like his physicality. I like his long arms. I like his experience in press man coverage. All right, I think if you want to go, two big boys on the outside with Thomas and JPJ for the future, I think you could absolutely do that. But I would be disappointed with this pick in round 1. I think that I'd be happy with Thomas on day 2 if they wanted to go that route. But round 1 for a guy that's not going to be playing much his rookie season because he's a true outside corner, and Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr., of course, are true outside guys, and those are going to be your starters. So Azariah Thomas brings great size to the table, but as you guys can see with the 40-yard dash time, it's not great at 4.58. For a corner, that is a death sentence, and with some of the speed he's going to have to go up against in the National Football League, that's not going to cut it in this league, plain and simple, guys, and he's going to have to prove that even despite that really, really poor time for a corner, that he's going to be able to hold up on the outside in man coverage against some of these speedier receivers in the league. And, if it's going to be defensive back in round 1, I would really prefer it to be a nickel, because if it's a nickel, he could realistically start year 1. If you're getting an outside corner, he's going to be sitting behind Joey Porter Jr. and Darius Slay, waiting for one of those guys to get injured, essentially, to even have a chance to play in year 1. And, the first-round pick usually is reserved for players that you really want to have an impact on day 1. I think the 2 guys in round 1 that can be big-time impact nickel defenders are Jahdae Barron out of Texas and Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Both of them played in multiple different types of alignments. Malachi played a lot in the box and at free safety as well as in the slot, but Jahdae also played in the slot, but he also played outside corner. So depending on what blend you want at nickel defender, if you want to go get a corner and a defensive back in round 1, I would prefer it much more to be Jahdae Barron or Malachi Starks than somebody in Azariah Thomas who has good film, good technique, long arms, physical, but doesn't necessarily have the speed, and it isn't going to be playing day 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Now, the picks that I did like from Matt Miller in his mock was I like Jalen Milroe in round 3, especially if you get Aaron Rodgers. All right, if you have Aaron Rodgers to teach Jalen Milroe the game, essentially, and the position, I think that could be great for the Pittsburgh Steelers, both in the short term and in the long term. I also really like the Cam Scatabo pick specifically for the 4th-round value. All right, he's not fast, but listen, man, James Conner wasn't fast. He was good here in Pittsburgh, and he's great in Arizona right now. Scatabo's got everything that you want, and your number 1 running back outside of long speed. All right, he's got quick feet, great vision, great hands, great receiving chops. He's a great route runner. Obviously, he's got the power. Obviously, he's got the competitive toughness that you look for. And his contact balance is the 2nd best in this class, only to Ashton Genty. All right, like this guy breaks tackles like a mother effer. All right, and I would love for him to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, especially if he makes it to round 4. Then Jordan Watkins out of Ole Miss. Keep your eye on this guy, man. The Steelers had a meeting with him at the Combine this year, and he's one of my favorite sleeper wide receivers. All right, this guy's fast. All right, he's a little bit undersized in terms of height. He's not very tall. but he's built kind of pretty well for his height at 5'11", and then he runs a 4.38. I mean, this guy is absolutely blazing. He's a deep threat. He's a good yards after the catch threat. I like his run blocking mentality as well at 5'11" and a quarter. He's at 196 pounds, which is pretty decent. And if you take a look at his stats versus Arkansas last year, he had 8 catches for 254 yards and 5 touchdowns. This guy's projected to go like in round 7 or round 6. All right, I love this pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers as a sleeper pick. And then his final game at Ole Miss versus Duke, 7 catches for 180 and 2 tuds. This guy is a big play waiting to happen. And honestly, I kind of forgot he was in this class because I keep watching Jaxson Dart film and Trey Harris film, and I keep saying to myself, who the hell is 11? This guy's a great player, man. This guy's getting open all the time. He's great after the catch. He's tough as nails. Right now, he's projected to be like a 6th or 7th round pick. I love this pick from Matt Miller, and I'd be thrilled if he is the pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers here in round 6. So who's your guy? Let me know down there in the comments section. Who's a sleeper prospect at any position? Doesn't have to be wide receiver. Who's a sleeper in this year's class that you hope the Steelers get on day 3 of the NFL Draft this season? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. That will conclude today's mock draft roundup for your Pittsburgh Steelers. Got more content coming your way here in the days to come surrounding the black and gold, so make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, here we go, Steelers.